Hello, this is Mr. Mormon. Welcome to part two of lesson one, Think Like a Scientist. Let's do a quick recap of what we learned yesterday. We've got a definition of science, what science is. It's all about getting to the truth, finding out about the world around us. You should have definitions in your notes of observation, using your senses to gather information. You should know the difference between quantitative and qualitative. Of course, quantitative observations are counted or measured. They use numbers. Qualitative observations describe the characteristics or qualities of things without using numbers. And then finally, inference. This is when we go beyond our observations. We make interpretations. We make explanations of our observations, or maybe even make predictions. Today, you're going to continue with the notes, and we're going to make a bulleted list of some of the characteristics, some of the things that scientists do. So let's start. Scientists use tools and instruments. They do this to extend their senses and measure more accurately. So scientists use tools and instruments. Next, scientists use the metric system, and we will be in class as well. There's a couple things we should remember when working in the metric system in class. First, no fractions. Measure in decimals, always to the tenths place. And even if a measurement comes out perfectly to the whole number, you should write it. Let's say you're measuring something and it comes exactly to 3 centimeters. You should write that as 3.0 centimeters to show the accuracy that you measured to. And finally, always include units. Whenever you record a measurement, there should be a unit. Next, scientists carefully record their observations. This is this is tremendously important. Scientists could do the best science work in the world, but if they're not accurately recording their observations and their data, it's of no use to the scientific community. By recording accurately, this gives an accurate record of what the work the scientist has done. It allows scientists to share their work. Collaboration and communication is very important to the advancement of science. Scientists are working all around the world, and some of them are working on the same things. The way they communicate is through scientific journals. There's a saying in science that goes like this: publish or perish. And what that means is scientists need to publish their work. They need to put their work into the scientific journals, record their data and their findings for other scientists to read who are working in the same field. If they don't publish their work, they're going to perish, meaning they're not going to get the funding, and their work is going to dry up and die. They need to publish. There's many different scientific journals, dozens of them. There's one for each different branch of science. Actually, there's several for some of the branches of science. There are publications that are put out quarterly or annually that publish the work done by the different scientists. And scientists read these to find out what other scientists are doing and to give them insight into their own work. Next, scientists make predictions based on their observations and data. Data is often recorded in tables and may be turned into a graph to better understand it and maybe make predictions. Next, scientists make drawings. Now, we'll be making scientific drawings and diagrams in class, and there's a few things that will help you do a better job here. First, don't make them too small. A lot of times, students are not very confident in their drawing skills, so they try to make things really, really small to hide that fact. This is not an art class. We're looking for the content and the detail here. So the best way to do is start with the basic shape or outline, and then add detail. Finally, you're going to add labels. A good scientific drawing or diagram is going to have labels pointing out all the important features, identifying the parts of the diagram or picture. Next, scientists classify. This means putting things in groups based on similar characteristics. An example of this would be taxonomy. Taxonomy is the science of classifying living things. Putting them into groups, kingdoms, phylums, class, orders, etc., based on their physical characteristics. And finally, scientists make models. Sometimes scientists make models to study and better understand things that are too big, too small, or just too complicated to observe directly. By making a model, they're able to understand all of the different parts and interactions of the system. That's it for today. In the next lesson, we will be investigating the ways in which all scientists go about getting to the truth and discovering the world around them. And that's called the scientific method.